Hey guys, we wanted to go over treads and risers. We're going to use the VI to do that. If you open up your VI to page 10, we're going to start there. What do you need to know? Well, number one, your minimum tread depth is 10 inches. Okay, so you can never have a tread that's less than 10 inches. There's no maximum, so if you want to go 11, 12, 13, 14, it doesn't matter, but you cannot go less than 10 inches. Okay. Secondly, you cannot vary by more than 3/8 of an inch. You do that measurement from the leading edge of your stair nosing. So you can see here you have 10 and an eighth, 10 and 3/8, 10 inch, 10 inch. Is that out of code? No, it's not out of code. You can see that 10 inch is your smallest, 10 and 3/8 is your largest. So you have a 3/8 variance that puts you in code. Now, if this step was 10 and a half, 10, 10, 10 and a half, 10 and an eighth, then you would be out of code. You cannot have a ½ inch of variance. You can have 3/8 of variance. So that's something you must know. Now, where do you measure that? Let's go to the next slide. So we're on page 11, and you can see a couple things on this page. One, you measure the tread depth 12 inches in. You can see here, and it says that in all your verbiage that you'll need to read, but you can see 12 inches in from the edge of the stairway. In this case, it's a baluster. In this case, it's a wall. But whatever your inside edge is, you're going to measure from that inside edge. So you have 10 and a quarter, 10 and an eighth, 10 inches, 10 and a quarter, 10 and 3/8, 10 inches. You can vary on your winder treads. So you can see here that these are 11 and an eighth, 11, 11 and a quarter, 11 and 3/8. So this stair is in code because your treads that are straight are the same tread depth, and your winders are the same tread depth. Even though they are different one from another, they are the same with a rectangular treads and winder treads. So you are allowed that. Again, they have to be within 3/8 of an inch. Okay. Another good thing to understand is your nosings. Your nosing projection minimum is 3/4. Your maximum is 1.25 inches. You can have a ½ inch bevel maximum, and your radius cannot exceed 9/16 of an inch. Now, where might you get out of code on a stair run? I'll give you one example. I'm sure there's a few. Bad framing, obviously, could you get you there? But let's say your stair was framed perfectly. All your runs are correct. You come in and you put some nice finished treads on there. You got some cove molding underneath, and all your tread runs are 10 inches, and everything's perfect. You have 1.25 inch overhang. Well, now your flooring guy comes in and he puts in his floor nosing, which only has a 3/4 inch overhang. Well, what does that do? You have 10 inches, 10 inches. Now you have 10 and a half inches measured from leading edge of your nosing to leading edge of your nosing. This stair is now out of code. So that's one thing to think about when you're working on a set of stairs is often flooring nosings are different than the nosings you may put on with a solid tread. Okay, risers. Riser. Your maximum riser height is 7 3/4. Now there is no minimum. You can have 2 inches, 2 inch, 2 inches, whatever you want. Obviously, you're not going to build a stair with a 2 inch rise, but you cannot go more than 7 3/4 inch. Risers are similar to treads in that you cannot vary by more than 3/8 of an inch. So if you have 7 3/4, 7 5/8, 7 3/8, these are within 3/8 of an inch. So you're in code. But if you had a 7 1/4 inch rise, now you'd be out of code. This frequently happens on that either the bottom or the top. Again, much like this drawing, if they come in with a 3/8 finished floor and you've put a 1 inch tread in, then unless you've accounted for a 3/8 finished floor, you'll be out of code on your rise. Same down at the bottom of the stair. If you're putting a 1 inch finished tread on and they're putting in a ½ inch engineered flooring and you did not account for that, that will put you out of code. Let's see here. And just remember, if you have open rises, a 4-inch sphere cannot pass through your open rises. So your tread either needs to be thick enough to not allow passage of a 4-inch sphere, or you can put a divider in here to not allow passage of a 4-inch sphere. Thanks so much.